Welcome to a lovely episode of our Empowered Woman Chit Chat. Okay, so we have a channeled guidance coming out soon, and that one is going to be on the Divine Feminine for those who are 5D, and the collective is Mystics and Not. Please tune on in if you enjoy any type of channeled guidance, and I'm going to share some of the cards here. I'm a functional adult. I'm woo-woo lady for those of you who don't believe in mysticism and pseudoscience, because I bring human, spiritual, and spirituality elements. Those are subject matters together. I'm attachment trauma informed. All of that research comes from researcher people, okay? So ask your questions. Grown-ups ask. Divine Feminine is your body, and you're a Divine Feminine of your own when you don't have a mask. So no more maladaptive child, but you say, ooh, yay, emotions. Ooh, yay, thoughts, okay? So that's what we do here. Personal development, self-help, seriously. Okay, so you're going to say yes to using your prefrontal cortex. And you're going to say yes to being a curious human being. And you're going to say yes to knowing, because 5D Collective is Christ consciousness, by the way, that you write your own fate. And we move beyond all that is belief systems, and we are spirituality and sciences go like this. So we know that life is a life of meaning beyond the solo self, or that basically spirituality is having a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self. And as our lovely Dr. Daniel Siegel shares with Integration of the Brain in my interpersonal neurobiology course, integration of the brain is your optimized version, and you can be here because it's all about you working with your inner child. So becoming your inner adult, that's easy for some it's harder, but that's why they need the ones of us who know how to love easy. Because it's not hard to say you're beautiful just the way you are. And that's why we focus on the human love group. Human suffering, we support them, and that's it. Support is going to be straightforward. I'm going to use some storytelling. So you're going to find out how Divine Feminine knows everything about everything, and that's why we don't have a saga with our twin flames or our soulmates. But what we do notice is that our twin flames have us expanding, and our soulmates surprise us. They have us remembering the sweetness of the scents of flowers. And don't get me wrong, twin flames, they bring sweetness too, but they bring a lot of different things that we get to learn about. Like how easy it is for people to give up on life. And I'm not even kidding. It's unfortunate. That's why it's not a shocker when you see men, women, theys giving up on life. So for everybody, it's a different story with their oversoul. These soulmates remind you of the things that instead people take up. So how people want to live life. And that's the part. They say yes to their inner child, and they save themselves. They choose their self-love, and they don't sit in a room and think that, life is over because one human being or two human beings or the work or the job or the whatever it is. They don't catastrophize. They don't sit in split thinking. They don't sit in black and white thinking. They don't sit in life is over. Okay, so soulmates, they walk a path that is similar to what you're walking. And twin flames, again, you expand consciousness, both sides. So we give each other choice points on how to uncover our own inner child and unmask our authentic self. And last note on that, just before we keep on going with our story, is that the Divine Feminine knows who their twin flame and or flames are, and we don't need a coach, not even one. That's for the 5D collective. The 4D are on a different journey, and we leave that alone. Mantles of yoga, mantles of mental health, mantles of spirituality, spiritual bypassers. Put them to the side. They don't know sciences and spirituality come together like this. Okay, they think they're competing. So they'll say, no, you're confusing things. No, I'm not. I'm not. I know what I'm doing. And there's the left and the right. You put your left foot in and the right foot in. Okay, so an empowered woman is going to love the so-called, for me, men, the men who are curious. That means that they have an inner child that wants to live life, okay? So you can't be curious if you're not unmasking your heart. And so that means that you can contain emotions, but also you can share them. So you're not behaving with the Cusco attitude. You remember when Cusco promises to Pacha, shakes the hand, but he's lying? Okay, so yeah, Cusco basically is a perfect example of when a human being is not choosing their self. Let me think. So when I have human suffering people, they come in and out and in and out, and they just do the same roundabout. So they make promises and they say a lot of things, but they don't mean any of it. And as we notice, Cusco goes through a pity party at a certain point. He's, in that middle it really begins with him in the middle saying, you know, they saw all of it. I brought my own demise. And we don't cry about people when they're doing that, because it's like, really? So this makes me think you just given up 3 times and your inner child is dying inside, which is where I feel bad for that inner child, because the life is still breathing, still there, but they want to do that. So long story short, that's the human suffering love. You leave them there and they just keep doing that same bit, and that's it. Instead, what we have is the continuation. So Cusco realizes shit, gets up, goes to Pacha. Sorry, Pacha, I want to live. And that's where we're at. Okay, so empowered women, we love men and women and days. And that's all people who choose to live life. And right now we have a bunch of people who, thanks to good therapists, are doing good personal development and therapy. So the personality disorders, they're not fixed in stone anywhere. The only group that has it's a chemical or some basically way of feeling a little bit less of certain things is the psychopath. And they, with the right environment, can be supported. So let's destigmatize. That's why, come on over here. All people who love all people. This is where we're at. So it's people who want to heal their childhood trauma, and they're doing it with Patrick Tiahan. People who are working with good therapists with their personality disorders. I've seen a couple of people online, narcissists and the borderline personality so far. Sociopaths, no, I see one person, but they're not actually healing. They just said, here's my pathology, and they're sticking to it. I've seen avoidant that do this. Here's my pathology, I'm sticking to it. So it's like cheerleaders and jocks. They said, here's our group, come follow us. Those are the Peter Pans. 4D, 3D, that's still human suffering. They're still with the Cusco on repeat, where they're not even going to get to where he's in the middle, because now they have followers. So now they're like, oh, look, we're all a crowd, which is great because they all can be happy together as an ethical cult, culty cult, traditional cult. As long as they follow the rules, society's not going to do anything, because they're just a group who's saying, here's our trades, here we are. And that's what they get to do. And we all then contribute, lifting our hands and our feet to go and, recycle, vote, go and do more recycling, more voting, help our ecosystem so life keeps moving forward. Perfect. That's how we're protecting the future. So on that note, again, when a self-empowered woman meets a self-empowered man, and that's for solo poly and monoamory, but also polyamory, but I know the solo poly life, we have a good time because we bring to each other surprises, and the surprises involve emotional and mental conversations that are fun. When you're finally able to love easily and freely, it's because your 0-1-year-old is with you. So you're not asking somebody, if you don't stay, I'm going to be afraid that you go. Okay. And as we close on out, let me explain this. So some people are not their 0-1-year-old. I am. And when you are your 0-1-year-old, you don't have a primal attached panic. So when your twin flames or soulmates leave and they don't want to enjoy building mer people, snow people, it's why you move beyond loving the one and the concept of the one, all things we talk about on the audio. It's not traumatizing for the ones of us who have an emotional window of welcome. Okay, so an empowered woman is not going to be looking to the past and thinking, wow, I wasted some time. No, we love more. That's the whole point, not less. And that's because we consistently have a 0-1-year-old in the forefront, because that's the secure attachment person. Those who get to their secure attachment, it's thanks to good therapy. So they become independent lovers. Empowered women, men and days, are empowered, conscious lovers. They're not asking each other to have to, and this is from here. It's not from here. It means that you're freely enjoying who you are, loving yourself first, and also empowered with who you are, walking the path, and then you're enjoying life. Okay, so it's as straightforward as it gets. Men who do this are easygoing, and they're intellectually savvy, by the way, because they have a good chit chatter, since they're optimistic about the future. This is where the people that are negative, we stay away from them. They have a problem for every solution. The human suffering love narrative, they contribute, but they're always on a low energy. They're not having fun. They're going to be a weighed down body. Okay, so divine feminine, that's not lit. Their inner child is nowhere to be found, and they're just acting like a Cusco with a bunch of masks, which means that we're going to notice their low self-esteem, indirect communication, passive-aggressive manners, and again, the human suffering. So that's the side. When we're with empowered men and women, it's always a good time. We're always flying high. When we have people who want to fly high with, we say come on board, and we enjoy Pachas, allow all people to come on board, but the 5D collective is for those of us who want an inner child adult. Tune in.